Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Lifestyle with Dr. Moby. I'm Dr. Moby, and today we have great guest with us, Natalie. Let's welcome Natalie. How are you, Natalie?
I'm doing wonderful. How are you doing today?
Good, thank you. And Natalie is a clinical aromatherapist as well as lifestyle coach. So let's hear from her about her journey first. So tell us about your journey, Natalie.
Absolutely, absolutely. You see, it really wasn't that long ago that I spent so many of my days constantly anxious. I was stressed, I was overwhelmed, and I was doing all the right things. I was living a healthy lifestyle. I was eating organic foods, exercising, using healthy products. But despite all of that, I was still dealing with health issues.
Mm-hmm.
And my doctors kept telling me, I needed to be on prescription medication. I was just so concerned with all the side effects. I didn't think that was the right journey for me.
Mm-hmm.
So I started, I started researching and I jumped into a journey that would help me heal myself. So I spent thousands of dollars and years of my life trying to find a solution for the anxiety and the chronic pain and the insomnia that I was dealing with. And I was looking for that kind of health freedom. So it wasn't until I started using magnesium specifically on my skin
Mm-hmm.
that my life changed. I started, feeling calm. My anxiety started to go away. I was having less panic attacks. I had more energy. I slept again. I was able to sleep for a few hours at a time, which was really exciting. And I reclaimed my life, and my whole, mission now is to let other people know about magnesium, and help them live their most vibrant and healthy, energetic selves.
Okay, great. So I also want to ask you, was your magnesium level checked by your doctor and so forth?
Yes and no. They did a basic magnesium serum test.
Mm-hmm.
And then as I was researching and kind of going down the rabbit hole when it comes to magnesium, I learned that magnesium actually isn't stored in our blood. A majority of magnesium is stored in our bones and in our organs. So doing a blood test doesn't necessarily reflect your magnesium storage levels in your body.
Mm-hmm. So but it wasn't very high. It was
Mm.
maybe low. The stores must be low for you. So what were some of the symptoms were you having? So people can.
Yeah. I was dealing with headaches on and off. I was dealing with really bad chronic anxiety. I was dealing with panic attacks that would come at the most odd times, really bad insomnia where I couldn't sleep for more than an hour to 2 hours at a time. And that, I think the insomnia above everything was what really, really impacted my life and my vitality. Because if you can't sleep, it's miserable. It's a miserable feeling not to be able to sleep.
Mhm.
So yeah, and I was dealing with cramping and restless legs and sore muscles and joints, inflammation. My test results from my doctors, the inflammation markers were just through the roof.
Mm.
So
Yeah, sorry that you felt that way, and then, but I'm glad you're much better now, right?
oh yeah, absolutely. Um, Sticking to a healthy diet and a low stress lifestyle, as well as supplementing with magnesium, has made a world of difference for me.
Hmm. And for audience sake, I just want to also emphasize she's making sure that everybody understands that she's doing healthy lifestyle and then fixing also magnesium. Same for her sleep. You are focusing on your sleep hygiene and sleep good habits, and then supplementing with your magnesium, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's a piece of the puzzle that many people miss, is that you can't expect anything, any kind of, whether it be a pill or herbal remedy or anything, to fix your problems that you're dealing with if you're not also addressing diet and lifestyle. That it's like, I've heard it said before, it's like trying to put out a fire with a water gun. Like, unless you really address those root causes and those root issues, true healing doesn't begin.
Hmm. Hmm. And so also tell us about what are you doing so far? Are you doing podcasting? Are you doing online stuff? Or what is some of the things you're doing to promote that?
Yeah, absolutely. It's a great question. Yeah, so I've been developing, I have a website. I write blogs regularly to kind of get the word out about magnesium so other people can feel relief. I've been on podcasts. I've, trying, just basically doing everything I can through social media and through kind of grassroots efforts to spread the word. I also developed my own line of magnesium products because I found that so many of the ones that were on the market were loaded with really harmful ingredients and parabens and toxic chemicals that we're trying to avoid. So I came up with my own natural formulas to really address people's problems without them having to use toxic chemicals.
Mhm. And did you also try to eat food high in magnesium?
Absolutely. Like I said before, there's no magic bullet, magic pill, or anything that's really going to help your problems unless you address diet. When it comes to magnesium, there's so many different forms of magnesium, and I think that's where people tend to trip up because they get overwhelmed. They're like, I tried this product and it didn't work, or I tried this supplement and it didn't work. And I always tell people that there's a lot of trial and error when it comes to magnesium. There are all the different forms. We've got magnesium citrate, magnesium glycinate, we have magnesium malate, and all of them have their own unique powers and abilities. For instance, if you're trying to sleep at night, you're going to want to go more towards the magnesium glycinate, which really relaxes the body. If you're looking for more energy, you want to go more towards magnesium malate, which gives you energy. So if you're taking the wrong magnesium at the wrong time for the wrong reasons, you might not find relief. So I always tell people, make sure that you do your research, make sure that you speak to somebody who's qualified to talk to you about the different benefits of magnesium before you kind of jump in with 2 feet.
Mhm.
My personal favorite 2 forms of magnesium are magnesium sulfate, which is found in Epsom salt, simply because it's so readily available, that it's so easy to use, and it's so gentle on your body. So, most people have heard of taking Epsom salt baths, and I always tell people, doing that a couple times a week will really help to restore your magnesium levels, to kind of start that process. And you don't have to worry about digestive upset, which a lot of people get from taking oral supplements.
Mhm.
So it's a quick and easy kind of way to do that. And then, of course, magnesium chloride, which is what's in my product line. And that is one of the best ways to get magnesium into your body without the harmful side effects that a lot of people deal with. And it's especially effective if you deal with leaky gut, or if you deal with digestive problems that you have a hard time digesting foods and minerals and supplements.
Mm. And also, we always encourage people to get actually blood test and see your provider first. So
Of
if
course.
you have, any problem medically, which you're losing your magnesium, then it has to be corrected before, so if there are medical issues, sure. So magnesium is kind of tricky because magnesium has to be regulated by the body in optimal level. So optimal level means either too low or too high could be dangerous. And if too low, you could have weakness and so forth. If it's too high, unfortunately, also it is very toxic. And so because first of all, your muscle gets really weaker, and you can lose the strength actually. So it is kind of unique that magnesium has to be particularly regular. And also, in cases of overdose, unfortunately, dialysis is the only one. It is you can get it out. So it's tricky that it has to be well regulated. So we are just making sure people know that. So
Mhm.
so those are the two extremes. But
Absolutely.
in between, how much level you have and what causes, yes, as long as it's optimal, yes, by all means, if you want to use that. There are foods, which contain magnesium too. Banana has good magnesium, seeds, dark chocolate has great magnesium. So those are, seeds have a lot, avocado has a lot, leafy vegetables have a lot. So those are kind of important sources not to
Yeah.
ignore, right?
Absolutely. It's funny that you mentioned chocolate because before, when I was dealing with low magnesium levels, I was craving dark chocolate all the time. And I think it's just so interesting and beautiful how our bodies crave what we need. So once I was able to restore my magnesium levels, I was able to, I stopped craving chocolate, which was pretty good for, my sugar levels.
And
But yeah.
yeah, that is interesting that a lot of people don't know. And so the cravings can also actually also be part of what we call iron deficiency, where if you have deficiency of iron too, it
Mhm.
can cause a lot of craving. And usually people have seen those cravings when they get pregnant. They start binging on something and they don't want to keep. One reason they say for that is actually low iron. You're absolutely right. If you have deficiency, especially of certain minerals, it can cause a lot of craving.
Absolutely. And I think another aspect to magnesium that we don't hear enough about is magnesium burn. It's people burning through their magnesium stores at a really high rate. So some things that could deplete your magnesium levels are stress. And that's one of those things that, especially in this last year, everybody is stressed out. And the more stressed you are, the more magnesium that you burn.
Mm.
Additionally, alcohol, sugar, all the bad stuff that we're not supposed to be doing, that drastically affects our magnesium levels. And I definitely see this as a parent with my children. When they have a lot of sugar, like around, the holidays and celebrations, I definitely see a behavioral change in them. And when we, give them a little bit extra magnesium cream and then, give them a couple Epsom salt baths, we definitely see that behavior change, at least in our household. And the connection I've made is that sugar really, really depletes the magnesium levels. Also, athletes, we find that athletes who exercise a lot, you're sweating your magnesium and your electrolytes out, your potassium, your sodium, that kind of thing. You're sweating it all out. So we see a lot of athletes. Recently, I spoke with a lot of triathletes, and one of the things that they deal with regularly is leg cramps, which is a huge sign of magnesium deficiency.
That is true. And also, I think it's a very important topic is the deficiency of one can be associated to other too. So, like you said, alcohol is very a good example of that. So, people who do consume a lot of alcohol actually can have depletion of a lot of things, and magnesium is one of them. So, magnesium and potassium, most of the time actually can go hand in hand. So if you're low in magnesium, you can be also low in potassium,
Mhm.
and it's very difficult to correct potassium if your magnesium is low. So those are very important, especially in alcohol. Overuse, you can deplete your magnesium very quickly, and then it will lead to a lot of problem. And not to mention that you will be also depleting a lot of vitamins, and then those can cause a lot of damage to your body, especially your nervous system as well as muscle. So those are very important to correct. Then same stands for, like you said about athletes, you can be depleting other salts, so you need to pay attention to that. Yeah.
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely. Yeah, magnesium works hand in hand with a lot of different, like you said, potassium, also vitamin D. It's very difficult to process and use vitamin D in your body without magnesium. So we see a lot of people who are vitamin D deficient and they're taking a bunch of vitamin D, but they're not taking the cofactors, vitamin K and magnesium to kind of help those D levels go up.
okay, great. Also, I want to ask you, what is your experience with certain, you said topical, you see also seems to help. So what are some of the topical formulations in your experience seem to work well?
Yeah, yeah. I love, love, love topical because it is so gentle. You don't have as high a risk of overdosing like you would if you were taking large, large amounts of oral supplements. And it's also very effective for the elderly and for children who can't take oral supplementation or people with leaky gut, digestive issues, that kind of thing. So with topical, the two main forms are magnesium sulfate, which is found in Epsom salt, and magnesium chloride, which is found in commonly seen in magnesium oils, sprays, and magnesium creams. There's been some new research and new studies that are showing that you're able to raise your magnesium levels faster by using magnesium chloride. They're showing people's levels go up within about 12 weeks versus 6 to 9 months with oral supplementation. So it is rather big difference, and it is much gentler in the body. Our formulas that I've worked to really hard to create are all made with magnesium chloride. Chloride is a salt, so it's similar to when you go into the ocean, you're in salt water, you feel so relaxed. It's because the ocean is filled with magnesium chloride. So if you ever had that experience, I'm in Florida, so there's beaches everywhere. So going into the ocean gives you that similar feeling of calm and relaxation. It's likely from, of course, the fresh air, and but also the magnesium chloride in the ocean. The only drawback with magnesium chloride is if you were to use it straight in terms of like a magnesium oil or a spray, it can be irritating to the skin because chloride is a salt. So that's why I created the line of creams that I created, so that we can take that magnesium chloride, make it soothing on the skin, and not give you that irritated reaction that many people find on their skin.
Okay, great. Thank you for clearing that. So, tell me about some of the formulations you work with. You say you have your website too, and
Yeah, the name of my company is Rooted In. And our website is Be Rooted In, and we chose that name because we really wanted to encourage people not to just use one product and try and get results, but to really concentrate on being rooted in your entire health. So, like I said, healthy diet, healthy lifestyle, lower stress levels, that type of thing. So that's kind of what we were doing when we created it, and so that magnesium cream could be part of your overall healthy lifestyle. And we created 3 formulas to address the 3 biggest issues that people tend to have. The first is rest cream, and that's made specifically for people who struggle with sleep. It's also got passion flower in it and chamomile extract, which are all supportive herbs that help people wind down in the evening. We also have our tranquility formula, which is my personal favorite because I dealt with so much anxiety and panic. And this has, on many occasions, just kind of pulled me out of a panic attack right before I had one, which is really helpful. It's made with ashwagandha, it's made with rhodiola and tulsi, and just really beautiful herbs to kind of help the body relax and calm down. And then our last formula is our relief formula. And relief is made with arnica and wintergreen, and ginger and peppermint, which are all incredible at helping the body muscles kind of relax and addressing soreness and tightness and cramps.
okay, great. Also, you have mentioned that you do a lot of aromatherapy, right?
Yes, yes.
Tell me a little bit about some of those which you find it helpful for.
Yes, absolutely. My heart is in aromatherapy. I have firsthand seen so many people's emotion and mood change just by smelling something. Like I think people really don't give enough credit to the mind mood connection when it comes to aromatherapy. So when we chose our formulas, we chose obviously not to use fragrance oils, but to use actual pure plant essential oils. So our tranquility formula in particular has bergamot in it, and bergamot is just such a soothing and uplifting and brightening oil, and it's incredible. The studies that have been done on bergamot really show a connection between people's mood and energy levels when they smell this, and it's incredibly energizing, which I think a lot of people need nowadays.
Yeah. That is true. A lot of anxiety and stress,
Yes.
of course, with COVID too. And I think it's good to have some aromatherapy for sure. So, for the beginners or anybody who wants to learn a little bit about aromatherapy, what are the important sites? Do you have info on your website?
I don't have anything in particular on my website, but any questions or anything, I'm always available to kind of help people kind of navigate essential oils, because there is so much conflicting information out there when it comes to essential oils, and quite frankly, people use them dangerously. That's always been my platform, I used to teach courses on essential oils. And one of the biggest things that I've seen is people just, directly using essential oils on their skin without a carrier oil, and, just putting essential oils in their mouth and using them on small children and kind of using them very, very dangerously. So I always caution people, when the best and most effective way to use essential oils is to smell them. That's the easiest, best, and safest way to use them. So use them in a diffuser. Make a room spray with them. Use them in your lotions and in your skincare products so that you're able to smell them.
Mhm. So it's very important to learn the proper use, because it can cause toxicity,
Mhm.
and also a lot of sometimes concern with these products. They're with their purity levels. They kind of mix up things. Unfortunately, people are. So check
Oh,
out that. Your health is very important. So same disclaimer we have at the bottom. This is not medical advice, and this is for educational purposes. Please contact your medical provider if you have any concerns or questions about any validity of any product, right? So,
absolutely.
yeah. So also tell me a little bit about some of the stress people you're seeing. I'm sure a lot of people around you are contacting you with with the COVID, creating some of the problems for them. So are you seeing a great influx of that due to COVID?
Yeah, absolutely. We're definitely seeing a lot of people dealing with stress, anxiety, and depression. A lot of people are suffering with, whether it be from seasonal affective disorder or just from, being isolated. We really need that human connection. So, yeah, depression has been huge. Stress, anxiety has been huge. There's some really incredible research connecting major depression to magnesium deficiency, and they believe, that people with magnesium deficiency are more prone to dealing with major depression. There's a couple recent, very, very recent studies that came out showing it as a good alternative to taking, or to take alongside of, certain medications. So, of course, if you're dealing with depressive thoughts, if you're dealing with anxiety, you definitely want to reach out to your doctor. Absolutely. But it's worth asking them about, can I use magnesium? Can I use it alongside of, medication and therapy, that kind of thing, and seeing what your physician thinks about that.
Sure, and then that would definitely make sense. Yeah, the range, if magnesium in the blood is below 2, then, of course, you need oral supplement with the topical. But if you're, the range is actually, so it has to be, so you can kind of keep around 2 for sure, above 2 for sure. And then it's going to affect other minerals as well, as especially potassium, which is very important. So thank you for giving us your take on magnesium and how it has changed your life. It was great learning. Thank you for coming to our show. Hey, any final thoughts you would like to share?
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having me. This has been such a pleasure, and I really appreciate what you do to spread, the message about healthy living, and paying attention to your body and focusing on that. It's just amazing. We need more of that in this world. So thank you for all you do. And like I said, if you have any questions, please feel free. If anybody has questions, to reach out to me. I can be found right on our website at berootedin.com. And feel free to email me or hit me up on social media.
Okay, great. Thank you, Natalie, once again for coming to our show. Thank you for audience watching our show. Take care. Thank you.
Take care. Bye-bye.